Well, Vice President Kamala Harris says that she is thankful former President Donald Trump is safe after Sunday's incident. She thanked law enforcement for their help and says that we all must do our part to ensure this incident does not lead to more violence. So I want to bring in CBS News campaign reporter Hunter Woodall, who for more on the vice president's campaign movements. So, Hunter, Harris is going to be making a trip to Philadelphia tomorrow. She's going to sit down with the National Association of Black Journalists. You may recall that during the NABJ convention, former President Trump sat down and did a much publicized interview. Kamala Harris was not available. She had another engagement. And so I suppose this is a little bit making up for the inability to make it to the convention.
Well, good morning, Anne-Marie. And yes, this conversation tomorrow, this interview tomorrow is going to be interesting for Vice President Harris. She hasn't done that much media. This is something that we've seen a lot from President Biden when he was running for the presidency in 2020, and then obviously in early 2024 when he was running again before he dropped out of the race. But the Biden campaign and now the Harris campaign aren't the most media, friendly Democratic presidential campaign that we've seen in recent cycles. So the fact that she's going to sit down, talk to these journalists, is obviously going to be an interesting development, and it'll be interesting to see how that interview goes, especially as you noted, the interview that former President Trump did was not exactly, it made a lot of news for the former president that he probably did not want to make. Yeah,
indeed. And I will point out that while Donald Trump has sat down for interviews, they're only ever with friendly outlets, particularly Fox News. So even though they've criticized Harris for her lack of availability, I don't think the Trump campaign is doing much better. That being said, let's flip back to Harris. Major endorsement from Taylor Swift right after that debate. But I'm wondering, has the campaign even been able to capitalize on that, or how have they been?
Anne-Marie, it's a great note, and it's interesting because when you look at this endorsement, I mean, this is arguably the biggest singer, the biggest pop star in the world, saying, "Hey, I'm going to vote for the Harris-Walz ticket." And you've seen in these recent days now, Tim Walz, Minnesota Governor, Vice President Harris's running mate in this race, he was at a rally in Wisconsin on Saturday, and he was making several references to Taylor Swift, talked about, called her out, said, "Hey, that's my fellow cat owner." And he also said, "It's really great," I'm quoting now, "it's really great to have all these women help us beat, quote, the smallest man in the world." That's a lot of callbacks, a lot of references. And we also saw the Harris campaign put out a press release yesterday with several references to Taylor Swift songs. That, of course, came after Donald Trump posted on Truth Social, quote, in all caps, "I hate Taylor Swift."
I can't believe this is what things have come to. But, I mean, it offers a little bit of entertainment for sure. 50 days from the election. What does Harris have to do to address voters who may be on the fence? That's a massive sort of question. But what is she focusing on?
Well, as you noted, this is a very short window. There's not that much time left. Early voting starts, ballots start going out, mail-in voting and the like. The big thing here for the vice president as she win over voters is you can't just run against Donald Trump. You also have to state what you're for. Voters know Donald Trump. This is his third time as a presidential candidate, a general election presidential candidate on the Republican side. For Vice President Harris, it's about making that statement of values. What would she do differently? What would she do differently than President Biden? What does she want to accomplish as commander-in-chief if she wins this race? You've seen this a little bit, obviously, from her speech at the DNC, her performance at the debate. And I believe moving forward, you're going to continue to see that.
All right, Hunter, thank you.